What's good, Wager World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. And here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Star? How are you today?
I'm good, man. We got only 3 days until the U.S. Open starts. These tournaments are ending up. I've had my eyes on them all day, and other than that, everything's been going great.
Awesome, awesome, man. Well, you know it's my time of the year, man. It's football season, man. It's time to get it on. Tomorrow starts week 0. I've never understood uh, why they disrespect the teams just playing and don't even count their week as a one. But we definitely got those coming up, man. But let's kick off the old format to the show, man. 'Cause it's football season. Let's hit out that past, present, and future. You
All
know, the
right, we're in the
past.
past, present, and future. The past, Georgia Bulldogs win the national championship. Um, they ran pretty good, right, with the injuries to wide receiver there for Alabama. But regardless, they got it done. Teams haven't been able to do it before. Georgia Bulldogs, your defending national champions. What do you think of the chances of a Georgia Bulldog repeat?
Now they had a lot of turnover, man. I don't see them doing it again. I think old Saint Nick has a bone to pick with his protege, and I don't think he's going to let him slide. As you said, injuries really affected that national championship game. You know, we both were cussing up a storm because we were heavy on Alabama, and it was a good bet. If you saw when Jameson Williams was in there, he was doing pretty much anything he wanted to do, like he did against Georgia earlier that year when Bam had beat him uh, in the regular season. And I think that they could have got the job done again, but we'll never know. They had a bunch of young receivers out there for Alabama. They looked a little shook against that veteran Georgia defense. Georgia had a lot of upperclassmen on defense and a lot of turnover. They lost a lot of good players to the NFL. You do have the mailman coming back at quarterback, but we'll see if he can get over the hangover that I'm sure he's had going since he won the Natty, man, because he's a good old SEC boy right around that area. I know that he's been juiced up. Um, he probably can't buy a drink at a bar around town, so we'll see how he reacts to having so much success. But I definitely don't think George repeats. Let's get to the present, man.
Yeah.
As we said, it's week 0. So with it being week 0, we don't have that dynamic of a card for the college football world. I think about the biggest matchup is going to be Nebraska. It's now down to -12 against Northwestern. They're playing in Dublin, Ireland. I think the first collegiate football game over there, if I'm not mistaken. Let's Notre Dame played there. I can't I'm not sure. Notre Dame might have played there before, but I'm not positive. But I know these. It's the first time for these two universities to cross the pond and go play over in over Ireland. It's going to be an early kickoff. What do you think about that line, man? It's a huge line, man. Almost 2 touchdowns.
I'll be honest. I'm going to rely on you when it comes to this college football. I'm going to keep up with it this season, but I'm going to pretty much roll with you, and we'll probably have a little more debate on the NFL games. So, what are you thinking about it?
I'm thinking that this is a sucker bet. I think they're trying to get a lot of people reeled in to jump on Northwestern with those points. That's why the numbers flying down. Uh, I mean, for what we've seen from Nebraska's past, why would you want to lay 2 touchdowns with them against anyone, right? But
Hmm.
um, they scored drug. The Cornhuskers last year, they were up 35-7 at halftime with a much lesser team. Nebraska's coming back loaded this year with a way better team than they had last year. And the most important thing about that team is that they added offensive coordinator Mark Whipple. Mark Whipple is a awesome coordinator. A lot of people believe he could be coordinating on Sundays if he wanted to for a National Football League team. He came from Pitt. You saw the kind of numbers that he was able to put up at Pitt last year. Pitt was a dynamic offense, beat Clemson for the first time in years, and it was mostly due to Mark Whipple's offensive genius. And he's now running the offense for Nebraska. They also have a different trigger man, and Casey Thompson. And I like Casey Thompson a lot. He's a good decision maker. He's also pretty athletic. You know, he's the son of Charles Thompson, that was star quarterback at Oklahoma. Weird, he goes to both his dad's rivals, right? He goes to Texas first, and then he transfers to Nebraska. And you would have thought he had a chance this year with Oklahoma having a opening at quarterback. They ended up going with the kid from Central Florida, Dylan Gabriel, but somehow Thompson ended up in Nebraska, and so I think he's going to do some big things. Um, I think finally we get a chance to see all the hoopla that Scott Frost brought to coming back home to Lincoln kind of start to come to fruition. I think that offense is going to be dynamic. I think the defense is always stout. So I think we'll see the same old Northwestern we've seen in the past, and that this game gets a little bit out of hand. Um, Helinski's the quarterback for Northwestern. They got the same OC from last year when they got trounced. They didn't make many changes. Fitzgerald's a good coach. I don't know why when he had the opportunity to go to the pros, because a lot of people were hot on him when he had. Remember when he had Northwestern winning and they couldn't believe what the job he was doing with those kids. You know, those kids have high academic standards over there in Illinois. So he was doing a really amazing job, and a lot of pro franchise wanted to hire him, and he ended up staying with his alma mater. And I don't know how he's going to do with that, especially with as we were talking about with um, the doctor a little bit earlier this week, Dr. Laverne, about the Big 12 and how it's going to be diminishing. We were speaking, me and him personally, about how schools like Northwestern and Vanderbilt are really going to feel the wrath of all of these schools going pretty much, semi-professional football. So these are academic institutions. They struggle to get players over there. Most of the guys that get there put school first. They aren't really as much worried about the gridiron. And I just don't think that it's much for him to work with. I haven't seen them. They do have a couple of receivers that they're saying uh, look good and may make third team, second team, Big Ten this year. But I just don't see much from Helinski. I don't trust him, and I think that the offense and the pace that Nebraska is going to play at, it's going to be a little bit too much. I actually played first half Nebraska -6.5 already, and also gave it out on 97.5 ESPN. So on that game, it's a bag. I think that they're trying to get the public to take the points, eat up the points, and I think that Nebraska's not going to allow Northwestern to keep it close.
All right, so you like that one there. Let's talk about the future. What is your best college football future that you have in your pocket right now?
We spoke about it earlier. I bought it that day that we talked about it, and that was taking North Carolina State behind Devin Leary, a quarterback that I really like, uh, and those 17 starters that are returning for the Wolfpack. Uh, got a coach who Dave Durham who's been there a while now. The system is in place. They always have impressive O line, D line. Last year, they defeated Clemson and Florida State, and this year their schedule. So it's not easy, but it's very manageable, especially if they can go to Clemson and win. As we talked about, DJ Ugalali, Big Cinco. He's we still have to question, can he get it done as the guy that pulls the train, and no longer being just the guy that hops on the train. And we'll see this year. They do have some dynamic running backs and receivers at Clemson, but I'll be very interested to see how he holds up against a veteran defense for the Wolfpack. So I'm all over plus 800 for the win the ACC, man. You can't ever lose with 8-1 odds. Who do you like for a future bet in college football?
I mean, I'm going off the stuff that we talked about on the show, so this is not nearly as educated as the one that you're giving out. But after we talked with the doctor, it was hard for me not to like Oklahoma there
Yeah.
because I'm getting more than plus 200, right? Because so here's another one I'm choosing. Okay, well, maybe I'll take USC. I'm not getting nearly the return on the USC bet as I am the Oklahoma. Seems like it's just about as good a chance when we talked about the way those things break down. So I'm getting a better return. And that's what I want on these future bets, right? I don't want to bet -110 for 6 months. I'll bet -110 for 3 hours on Sunday or Saturday, right? So 4 hours for a college game, right? But you understand my point. So I think my favorite one that we've discussed so far is to take Oklahoma to win the Big 12.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too, man. That leads right up into kick the damn extra point.
And we
Usually we
haven't
talk.
done this segment for a while.
Wow, man, I miss it, man. I miss it. We don't have anyone to call out this week yet, but well, we'll save this uh, portion for the show this segment. Excuse me, this segment for the show for today will be just for us talking about which coach are we looking forward to that's going to make a change, the most changes for the team in college football. I guess you would be Oklahoma, right? Leading up into that, since that's who you're taking, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Lincoln Riley,
I was gonna say for biggest change.
yeah,
I mean, UFC's coming off. I mean, they've disappointed their boosters for what since Reggie Bush left. I mean,
right,
they've really struggled, and part of that is their own fault because they refuse to hire outside of their system, right? So they're grabbing these old offensive linemen, running tailback you or whatever they were, right, when they had all the best running backs, and they're trying to run that system with the new rules of this last decade,
right,
and it wasn't working out well. So, he comes back. It looks like this team's going to return to prominence, and then just off of it's kind of random, but now they're moving to the Big Ten, which I feel like puts even more eyes on the program.
yeah.
Oklahoma we expect to be good, but they've been good the last 5 years. So when you say biggest change, I think I got to go USC.
Yeah, yeah, they're going to be huge. I got two teams. One of them is that Oklahoma team that you spoke about. Uh, as you know, like you said, they have Dylan Gabriel coming in, bigger than even the great coach that they have coming in, the former defensive coordinator for Clemson. They have Levy coming in, Jeff Levy from UCF. He runs a up tempo offense. He was the offensive coordinator when Dylan Gabriel was putting up crazy numbers in 2019. So I'd like to really see uh, how he performs uh, under Levy. I think that they're going to shock the Big 12. So I think that's a major hire. Brent Venables is uh, going to take care of the defensive side. So it's almost more important. You kind of already know what you're going to get for Venables. He's a master at defensive coordinating. So I like to see what Jeff Letty and Dylan Gabriel do at Oklahoma. I'm also interested uh, in seeing what Kalen DeBoer brings to Washington University. Last year he coached Fresno State, and he did a really good job over there. Like I said, he's a very organized guy. I like everything he does and the way he runs his program. And much like um, Venables, he has a transfer quarterback coming over who's familiar with the offense. He was the offensive coordinator for Michael Penix Jr. at Indiana University when they had their best year in Bloomington in years. And so now Kalen DeBoer is bringing Michael Penix over there with him to Washington. I think they're going to surprise some people. I'm looking for them to do some things in the Pac-12. But next week we'll be sure. I'm sure after week 0, it'll be a couple coaches who deserve a little acknowledgement and kick the damn extra point. All right, man.
Yeah.
Let's get to the violin parlay for today, Fred.
All right. Well, I got. Let me look some stuff up right now. The one that I was going to give out today has already started. So
Oh,
later start, and we'll see how it does. Let me check the score right now. I did like Bernard Pera, and she's down 5-1. So maybe that's for the
so
better.
maybe she saved you because you know with her, you can never trust Bernard Parra. You don't know if
I'm
you're going to get the assassin or the pushover with her. Sometimes.
yeah. I mean, it is WTA, so we'll see. I mean, I'd say that
This is the
score
first
5-1
set.
only lowers your win chance by 10%.
Who she
Right?
playing? Samsonova?
Yeah, Samsonova.
I like
But it looks like
Samsonova, man.
Samsonova's coming. Wait, she's a much better player. I was just trying to ride the hot streak, so I
Gotcha.
was getting
A
plus
point,
money there.
yeah.
So yeah,
She's
why
a
don't you go ahead
talented
and give out a
Samsonova.
pick? And I'm going to look at these U.S. Open lines right now. I'd already gone over some of them earlier. Let me see which one is my
Okay,
favorite
well,
one.
while Spurs getting that together, I'll give you guys the one that I gave out on 97.5. You guys heard me on the bench on Thursday on ESPN 97.5. I gave out Florida Atlantic -7. Uh, I just feel like it's a more talented team. It's an in-conference game. They're familiar with each other. Um, both teams have their quarterbacks back, but I definitely like the quarterback uh, for Florida Atlantic more. The coach Perry, he was starting to do his thing in Miami, and he got in some trouble for an Instagram scandal. And, and yeah, he had a pretty bad situation. He was doing a lot of things he didn't have any business doing on there. He ended up losing his job at the U, and he transferred to Florida Atlantic with Willie Taggart. Willie Taggart, of course, the Gulf Coast offense, and I think he finally has the right trigger man. Has a kid named Johnny Ford that came from USF. I'm sure that Taggart probably recruited him to USF when he was there. Johnny Ford is a blazer, real speedster. And I just like Willie Taggart against this competition. He's one of the guys he's coached everywhere. He's been in Oregon. He's coached some top programs, rebuilt a couple programs, Western Kentucky and such, alma mater. And now I think he's in Florida, where really it's his recruiting grounds after being the coach of Florida State for a while. He's kind of made some tracks down there. And he's able to pick up a lot of guys who the big schools, Florida State, and Miami miss. And that talent is so deep in that Florida group that he can always still find monsters on the defensive line, great running backs, great receivers, and speed. And he has this team prepared to take another step. Phil Steele, who I really respect in college football, has predicted that FAU would be one of the most improved teams. They face a Charlotte 49ers team. Their coach, Will Hill, is a good coach. He's 4-13 on the road since he's been in that conference. They're 1-5 against the spread. They're 0-6 in their last road openers. While Willie Taggart's group is 2-0. A couple times he's had home opening games. I think they'll be fired up. The weather's supposed to be a little wet in Boca Raton. Going to give a major advantage to those great running backs, the skilled players, because they know where they're going, whereas the inexperienced linebackers and undersized players for Charlotte don't. Charlotte, once again, is scrappy. The quarterback's a 4-year starter, but he's a walk-on, so he's limited in talent. But I think at the end of the day, when all said and done, it'll be pretty much the same way that the last two contests have went, where Charlotte keeps it close early in the first half, but in the second half, Florida Atlantic just leaves him with just a little bit too much talent. So we're going to go with Florida Atlantic at home, -7 over Charlotte.
Sounds good. I'm going to go back to one of my favorite angles here, and that's the overs in the Maxime Cressy matches. He's playing Marton Fucsovic in the first round, but if you've heard me talk about Cressy before, you hear me talk about his 88% hold percentage and only 14% on the break, right, which leads to a lot of tie breaks. Technically, I can get over there with 3 tie breaks, but essentially you're betting that one of the men will get at least one set. It will not go 3-0. And then, of course, you have that little bit of maybe, hey, 3 tie breaks in the back pocket. But, Cressy played pretty well, but let's see if, this one runs its course. This is why I think this one could go 4 sets. I do like Cressy to win here, but I don't think it's going to be as easy. And some of the fatigue of really the best season that he's had so far may catch up to him. So instead of a cakewalk, I think this will be a close match. I got Maxime Cressy, Martin Fucsovic over 38.5 games.
All right, so my guy spread's going to the hard court. I'm going to keep it on the gridiron. He's going with Cressy, Fucsovic over 38.5. I'm going with FAU -7 over Charlotte. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hey man, it's back to gridiron season. We'll be back here on Monday. Now that things are back rolling, we actually got a season and games to talk about. You can count on seeing us here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have a special guest coming on Monday. We have a wonderful guest coming on Wednesday that we're hoping is going to be here every Wednesday with us, giving us a lot of knowledge. And Friday, we'll be back just like we were today with a breakdown with some picks for you guys so you can make some money. The best of luck to you all. You guys enjoy your weekend. Follow my guy Spread Astaire at Spread Astaire. Follow me at 5 Stars Vegas. Spell out the 5, please. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you, and the best of luck to you all.